And welcome back, guys. It is time to go into our second series here in the Kickoff Clash, and this one is pretty much always a banger between these two squads, as they have long since fought for dominance, long since fought to the throne here in the APAC region. It's the Shanghai Dragons up against the Seoul Dynasty, and who really knows what we're going to get? I mean, you were just talking about how anybody can kind of beat anybody on a given day, but with these two teams especially, it feels like things are constantly up in the air.
And I just got an interesting factoid. We'll see this when we get into the game as well, but these two teams have actually played each other a total of 19 matches all time. I don't actually have the match record for that. I'll have to find that out at a later date. Maybe in the next broadcast I'll give you the answer for that when Seoul and Shanghai, if they meet again, which I think it's likely they do meet again. Because as much as I say that anybody can win this tournament, anybody can beat anybody, there is still a bit of a minor tier list, and in my mind, Seoul and Shanghai are the two better teams of the four teams that we do have in this tournament so far, as far as experience goes, veterancy, pop-off potential, and individuals, mechanics, everything. They've got it all right. This is why currently I think these are the top two teams in our region in APAC, and they deliver, I think, the best games as well.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineups here, see what they have prepared for us, see if they throw any curveballs, but something tells me that it's going to be pretty stock standard from both of these teams. There you go, kicking things off. Yeah,
no way, Smurfs playing tank?
Oh my god, I can't believe it! Yeah.
No way.
No experimentation here with Prophet trying his hand at the Zarya or anything like that. We'll just be sticking to the DPS lineup. Smurf, of course, they're the low tank player here for the side of the Dynasty.
They've only played Stalker one time. And I think
it did not go well.
I believe they lost that map. He only played Tracer. It is one of his better heroes, although to be fair, that was during Seoul's kind of experimentation phase. Smurf's playing a whole bunch of different heroes. Fitz is on the Sombra way too often, and not even to try and counter the Doom. So we're out of that phase now. Seoul Dynasty like, no, here's our 5 players. We know what our comps are. We know what we're good at. This is what we're going to do. Take a look at the other team here as well. Shouldn't be too surprising. Flitter does play some of the opening maps, but it's actually going to be Who Are You, because we are going to, we'll find out in a second, it's the control of Oasis, I believe. So the Genji to bring things out early. I think the real chance to see Flitter will be on the push map, either Colosseum or New Queen Street, depending on who picks it. And that's probably when you see Flitter for the Reaper, unless you just keep playing Who Are You on the Genji. I mean, we're still in the Genji meta. You could just keep playing the Genji if you want to. So...
And I don't mind it.
Shanghai to me is starting to figure it out. Because you'll remember Shanghai as well. I think in the early games, they got 0-3 by Fusion, shaky matches, map 5s all the time. Great thing about Shanghai is they don't lose those map 5s. And now, as scary as they are, they're even scarier because they've been improving every single game.
Now they have been. Well, I find it fitting that Who Are You is the only one who still doesn't have a picture to really just go with the whole name theme that he's got going on for himself there. But
he is a dragon. He is a dragon.
He is just actually a dragon. He is the embodiment of the Dragon Blade. Well, Oasis will be our first map as we get ready to go into this best-of-5 series between these two titanic forces here in the APAC region. It will be Garden to start it off. We'll see what they have pieced together for us, but with Who Are You in the mix, you can always anticipate it's going to be a Genji.
More maps, more matches against each other than any other teams in the league, 19 all time. Exactly.
That's incredible.
It's insane. It really is. It's partially because when we had the sort of APAC in a split, the East-West split, both Shanghai and Seoul are obviously in that split, and when you are usually the good teams, you end up playing each other more because of playoffs and because of tournaments, etc., right? So it does also make a lot of sense to me, but I also think it's just an exciting rivalry. I mean, we've got plenty of rivalries in the APAC region between different types of teams, but at the top level, this is one of those, like, here's the number 1 versus number 2 team type of rivalry. So let's kick things off. Head over towards Oasis Garden. It's going to be a mirror match on both ends, and the Winstons dive on in.
Yep, the Prophet Genji versus the Who Are You. Smurf and Prophet already taking quite a bit of damage, but it's going to be Fitz who draws first blood, and then Prophet manages to cut his way through Lee Jae-gon, finding another one, and it is going to be a fairly one-side affair here in the opening volley as Vindhame comes up with 3 of the final blows. A team kill before the point even unlocks, Avril. And I like the pace being set here by the Dynasty. I'm just hoping that the Dragons can answer back in kind, because I'm all about this back-and-forth playstyle between these two teams.
Well, I mean, Fate got taken down pretty early, right, because he took a bunch of damage. The cleanup was there. Okay, we are going to have a pause coming on through for whatever reason. We'll find out what that is in a moment. Just a little bit of history lesson, a very minor one. We only have to go back a few days at this point, less than a week even, is that Seoul and Shanghai in their last meeting, first of all, it was a 3-1 finish for the Shanghai Dragons, but we did start it with Oasis, and that was a 2-1 victory in favor of Seoul on that particular Oasis as well. So in terms of starting here, it's Shanghai's choice as the highest seeded team to go to Oasis. So they're actually going to go to the map that they lost against Seoul to start things out with in this series.
I mean, you know, a lot of times you drop a map to somebody that's going to be your focal point when you're doing your prep, when you're doing your VOD reviews and whatnot. So seems like they think, okay, we've got a good read on how Dynasty likes to play this map now, and now we feel comfortable taking them to it yet again. We'll see what happens, though. It's a quick little pause. Just go back into the action as we get some initial skirmishing here.
And Seoul also did, by the way, win that Gardens as well. I don't know if you remember, but Creative ended up finding a Sleep Dart onto Huayu's blade and the double Bionade kill. That was, that was good times coming through. This time, Fate just dies again as the first pick coming on in, so Fate's not having a great day.
Ooh. Neither is Who Are You. Takes the Helix Rockets, Fit's got the follow-up shots, they finish him off, and it's a great start here. Confidence certainly instilled right now for the side of the Seoul Dynasty, as Prophet just going to be sitting up in the middle, poking and prodding where he can, trying to get that Dragon Blade online. But every time, yes.
Fun fact. Shanghai Dragons currently have 0 final blows and 0 eliminations.
Oh, beautiful. That's not a very fun fact. Well, there you go.
Oh, that's the first one. They have one now.
It's been undone. Who Are You? I was about to mention he was actually outpacing.
Fact, they now have 1 final blow. That's the new fun fact.
Is that going to be enough, though? Fitz going to go ahead, pop the tack visor with the nano, layered in on top of it. Gets a little bit of damage, and he's trying to find Who Are You. Instead finds himself back facing the enemy support there. We'll pull away from Izayaki, who now will go ahead, invest the nano out onto the lip, who pops his own tack visors, looking for some targets. Looks like he will get smurfed by the end, so Shanghai Dragons cleaning up the fight will be able to get this flip. Fitz just going to push forward, go for the reset. Does manage to take Lip down with him. Get a little bit of extra percentage, but there's the flip at 77%.
They'll be banking the sound barrier there, so I think there was the option for Vindane to use, but opted against it, or maybe just flubbed it. We're going to be in a situation now, though, where Who Are You is more than likely going to be blading this one, so the sound barrier will definitely be coming on through. That can also support Prophet's own blade, as Lijiagon does not have anything to use. So there is an opportunity for Seoul Dynasty to flip once more. Both of the tanks have primal, so I think Fate will try and delay as long as possible.
Anti was thrown in, doesn't find anything, and oh boy, he gets body blocked in the stairwell, does Prophet. Fate just going to be able to zap him to death, and I think without the Genji, Dynasty just going to look to poke and prod where they can otherwise play safe, go for the reset, so they will pull back towards the spawn.
Wow, that was a quick win for the Shanghai Dragons. Didn't cost them anything either, just a nice body block to the Prophet. Like you said, here comes that blade from Who Are You.
Yep, instantly finds Fitz, dashes in, looks for the support, so get one swipe out onto Prophet, one on the Smurf. Smurf again just jumping away, trying to stay safe. Fate playing forward. Knows that he's got the primal if he did get himself into a dire situation, but he was going to be just fine. So yet again, 1 kill, 1 reset, time bought.
It's in some ways a great ultimate from Who Are You and the Dragons to get a free fight win in some percentage, but it doesn't force anything out from the Dynasty. You want to force these sound barriers, you want to force a primal. You are going to get the blade now.
Yep, but it's going to be forced back as it's that anti. Doesn't have enough reinforcements there to try to keep him supported, so instead has to abandon it. The blade not going to find anything. Lip will cut down Prophet as he tries to make his exit. Follows up for another kill. Now getting Fitz. Now Smurf 3 for Lip. As the nano onto him from Izayaki pays dividends. Now that is the Dragons taking the lead at 83%. They still have a sound barrier and a visor.
And they play through the sound barrier of Vindane as well. Vindane popped the sound barrier. I think it hit definitely more than the 2 people that I saw towards the end there. Still was enough. They're going to go for the touch here in terms of what's left on the Seoul Dynasty. Still plenty to play through. Nano Visor coming on board, but the sound barrier being there for the Shanghai Dragons can be a game winner. Lijiagon has held on to this one. There is going to be a perfect moment to use this.
There's the touch. Lijiagon, solo beat.
Barry got blocked.
Oh my god, yeah, he can't get anybody else. It's just going to be a solo beat there on Lijiagon. Now Fate going to be taken down. Lijiagon somehow manages to survive despite the fact that he was antied out. Gets the kill there on the Fitz, cutting him down to size. Smurf trying to play up onto the low ground. The boop there from Vinheim, massive, displaces him, saves Smurf's life. Now the flip comes back in for the side of the Dynasty. They are in control of the point. They're ticking up now at 90%.
Oh my goodness, this is still going the way of Seoul. This can definitely be a Seoul win currently. Seoul plays alive, 4 versus 4, but players respawning. No tank for Seoul really hurts them at this stage.
Yeah, the leap is there from Fate. He touches the point. He goes low. Manages to escape at least for a little bit longer. Tries to get the bigger pack. He cannot. Prophet hounds him down, but now Creative's going to be out of the fight. Vinheim, the lone support here for the side of the Seoul Dynasty, trying to keep them in this fight. Smurf has rejoined the fight. Jumps up into the front, puts the bubble down in front of Lip's face. Chips away at him. This Prophet uses the recall,
Nano?
still holds onto the pulse bomb, doesn't have it yet. Lee Jae-gon falling low. Izayaki gonna throw the nano, goes out on the lip now. Lee Jae-gon gonna be eliminated. The pulse bomb after Prophet, not gonna find anything. Izayaki strikes him down. The fight is being won. The point flip is there. The Dynasty cannot recontest, and it's 199% as the Dragons will take Garden.
I thought for sure Seoul were going to get that one when they blocked Lee Jae-gon's beat. He only used a sound barrier on himself, and I think the only way that can happen is either A, he got knocked back into an area where the sound barrier LOS didn't see anybody, or Smurf bubbled it. Smurf had to have bubbled it, in my opinion. There's no way Lee Jae-gon otherwise would have had a solo sound barrier. I don't know if we're going to ever find out what happened there, but that was an insane play from Seoul Dynasty in either case to what I have to assume forced Lee Jae-gon a solo beat there. However, the fact that Dragons got Smurf down in that trade, I was thinking it was probably still fine for Seoul, but the lack of a tank meant that Seoul couldn't contest for ground as effectively as Shanghai Dragons with Fate. And eventually, when we get down to it, Nano onto, I believe it was Lip. Lee Jae-gon might have died, but Dragons still end up getting all these kills. They recovered, they just clutched out. It's the clutch Dragons again.
Well, it's Lee Jae-gon doing Lee Jae-gon things. Just going to be dead off the rip as Dynasty look to win the initial fight yet again. Nade goes out. Who are you? Going to be anti there for the moment. Fate falling low. Push around the corner. They're looking for the elimination. The jump forward from Smurf. But oh boy, he gives his life for the kill. Now Vindheim, who chased forward with him, ends up falling as well. Fate, or Lip rather, finding two. Who are you? Getting another. That's going to be the trade up, and that is going to be the first cap going to the Dragons.
And Lip just really, I think, outperforming Fitz so far on this map, and that's been kind of the story throughout the season so far in 2022. I mean, Fitz had been trying to catch up to Lip for, I think, the better part of a year and a half, if not 2 years now, but Lip just always seems to be that slightly ahead in terms of where his output is, even on the Soldier today. So here we go, first fight win for the Dragons, despite losing Lee Jae-gon. That's what I'm talking about. They clutch on out, 4 versus 5. They still get that win.
Yep, Fate diving into the back. Bubble going to be used. They need some peel for him. Still will help lead to a kill on a Vindheim, as well as creative. The supports out of the fight as Who Are You slices and dices his way to those eliminations. Who Are You himself under fire, now dead. As the flip can come through, as the team kill is achieved. 37% online here for the side of the Dragons as Dynasty gain control.
And it's the double supports down for the Seoul Dynasty, but between the DPS and Smurf, they managed to trade back lines. And more effectively as well for ultimately a 3 versus 2 where Who Are You is the only damage dealer remaining. Getting Lip down, I think, was the key target there for the Seoul Dynasty. Had been putting out so much damage. You've got to take him down as a primary target. If that can happen, suddenly things look a lot better. Fitz, who didn't die, because he's alive, will end up getting the visor first.
Okay, well, they're going to use the blade first and foremost. Hold on to the visor for a little bit longer, but actually, Who Are You just shuts them both down. Prophet and Fitz dead. Now the blade from him gets rid of creative. Who Are You putting the team on his back? Doesn't quite get the kill there on to Smurf. Lip says, hey, I'm here. I need to do something as well. Cleans up the other two, but it's a team kill in response. And Dynasty, they get close, but they can't even take the lead. It's right back into control of the Dragons.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Because you have a situation where Seoul probably have the opportunity to actually push on and get something done. Also, Nano Visor as well, right, if I'm not mistaken there, but, you know, Who Are You will still outplay it. I think Who Are You might have also been nanoed. In either case, Who Are You comes out as the superior Genji that matchup, and now it's Lip's turn to go hard.
The visor going. Fate going to be taking a nap. Lip running out of targets here as Smurf into the back lines is trying to get this elimination on Izayaki, but the beat is perfectly timed there from Lee Jae-gon to try to keep everybody alive and can also maybe outlast this anti-nade, but it seems like no. Fitz with the visor will find Izayaki. Fate popping the primal, now going to be taking a nap. Over on the side, Sliver will clean up Prophet. Who Are You? Sliver of HP remaining, makes his exit. Lee Jae-gon getting the boop here on the Smurf means that he cannot pursue any deeper. He looks for a little bit more, and we're getting dire straits now for the side of the Seoul Dynasty, who need to get this flip imminently.
Not quite there just yet.
Okay.
Okay, finally. I mean, 85% for the Shanghai Dragons. They're not quite on final fight territory just yet. They need to build up some more ultimates as well, so we're into a bit of a rebuilding phase for the Dragons. It'll take a fight or more to get there. Creative can definitely win a fight off the back of this nano if it is applied to probably, I would say, Prophet here. But I mean, Dragon's neutral game is pretty darn good as well. And Izayaki is very steadily catching up on that nano as well.
There he is, just 13% away, couple tags, and he'll have it. Prophet falling low, drops down into the pit, grabs that Mega Pack. Now at the Fitz, pushing the corner, looking for some kills. Looking to sleep down onto Lip, and he gets woken right back up. Now Fitz going to be juggled into the corner, and Lip will find two. Creative and Fitz both going to fall, and he says, you have overstepped, Seoul Dynasty. Cuts them down to size. Smurf locked in the corner, trying to exit with the likes of Vindheim, but they will not be allowed. They get up to 79% or so here. The flip will come in 80. There you have it. And the Dragons retake control yet again.
Lip waking up there is like an Illidan you are not prepared moment, I swear to God. Just the 4K coming on through, doesn't even pop the visor. Final fight now for sure off the back of 1 Nano. It seemed like, again, Seoul could have been in the lead there, but Easy can catch up with the Nano. That
Smurf sleeping.
sort of posthumous Nano coming on through was enough.
Prophet dead,
Smurf asleep.
woken up, and yeah, put right back down on the ground. Who are you with the 2 final kills there as the Shanghai Dragons? I mean, he's talking about it. You drop this map to the Seoul Dynasty, you focus on it, you figure out their play style, you say, okay, we can win this now. They do. 2-0 for them. Very back and forth throughout the 2 rounds, but they get it fairly cleanly there on University to close it out and start things off 1-0.
Oh, that. You guys at home didn't see it, but the play of the match there, as dictated by the Overwatch client, it was who I use. Dragon Nanoblade shut down on Prophet as well. Seeing it from his POV, okay, that was pretty hot. That was well deserved. And for Dragons, I mean, compared to where we were before, last time, Seoul Dynasty win Oasis, 2-1 scoreline Oasis as well. This time, 2-0 for Dragons on Oasis, and were they behind at various points? Absolutely. Did they manage to recover and clutch anyway? Yeah, that's the Dragons' MO. That's the Dragons' identity. You can never really just safely get them down. It always seems like, even if you have an ultimate advantage, even if you have a player advantage, it's not enough. Dragons still win.
Yep, and Lip, he might be on the ground, but he's taking a nap. You got to kill him and leave him on the ground, because if he gets woken up, then it's like hitting the second phase of a Dark Souls boss when he didn't know it was even coming. The guy just wakes up and absolutely tears people apart. They ran out of flasks, they had no way to heal, and they ended up dying, and now they have to go again. Seoul Dynasty will have their map pick. I believe it looks like they're going to take us to Midtown for Hybrid. We'll see if they can get the win there. Maybe have some Prophet May coming through as well for them. We'll have to wait and find out, though, as we go into a quick little break. But don't go anywhere, guys. The back and forth action is going to continue in just a few. And we are back and about to go into map number 2 here in our second series of the evening. 1-0 lead now for the Shanghai Dragons as they somewhat cleanly take Oasis with a 2-0. Now we turn our sights over to the map pick of the Seoul Dynasty. They have elected to take us into Midtown yet again, so we get this in our second series as well. But I'd like to see how this looks for Dynasty. Obviously, they're going to be feeling confident going into it. Can they do to Dragons what Spark did to Fusion? That is the question.
Well, it depends. Is anybody going to play Ryan out of these two teams? Smurf could probably go there if he wants to, but if you really want to unlock, I think the good parts of this roster, keep Smurf on a Winston, keep Prophet on a Genji, right, I think, for the Seoul Dynasty. And just as we head into this map as well, I mean, talking about the tank players, I actually want to highlight a very small micro play that ended up having a huge difference as well on that last map when we were on University. But when Lip got slept and was on basically 1 HP, first of all, the nano damage reduction helped him survive, but Fate actually also dropped a bubble on top of Lip that blocked Fitz's damage from getting the execution. So in terms of killing Lip while sleeping, they tried, but the peel from the Dragons was unbelievable. So that definitely helped Lip and get the Dragons over across the line for that massive clutch towards the end.
Well, big plays and great coordination there from the side of the Shanghai Dragons, just showing that they are, in fact, the hive mind still. And Lip hits the floor, everybody comes to protect him because they know that Lip, always a pretty good win condition to put your money on. Now we'll enter into Midtown, though, see what they got for us. Who are you is showing the Echo for a moment. Looks like he's just saying, nah, we just keep playing the Genji. It's been going pretty damn well. We'll stick with it.
No reason to really change too much here. I mean, when I look over towards the Seoul side of things as well, do they want to maybe change something up? They could take a risk, but it is a risk. Opening a lineup here for Izuyaki as well, just trying to line it up with all the flying vehicles ahead. So, maybe like 10% extra ult charge if that lands properly.
Okay, Smurf
does not.
Looks like waiting for a call. Looks like it will be the Winston coming through. Prophet, I thought maybe we would see that May Reinhardt here from the Dynasty on the attack. Not to be.
Hard to practice that. I mean, that's the problem for, I think, with a lot of the APAC teams, is like, it's practicing Rhine. It's just not the region for practicing Rhine, similar to how last year in NA it wasn't the region to practice the ball, right? Tracer, however, for Prophet is one of his greatest hits. I think this is where most of Seoul's success has come from. Despite being pretty good at the Genji, Seoul has played a lot more Tracer than Genji so far.
Well, Smurf will find an opening kill. Who are you going to be taken down? Lip was also slept in the meantime, so they can't get the punish. They take Smurf down to about half HP. For now, though, he will be rejoining in with the rest of the squad very shortly as the respawn has come in. Recall used now by Prophet. Gets in on top of Fate. They find the elimination at the cost of Fitz. They can start making their way to the point here perhaps, but as I say that, Lip, well, yeah, he's just going to go ahead and shut it down. So Smurf now gone. No point presence whatsoever found for the Dynasty yet.
I mean, look at the ult charge difference between Lip and Fitz as well. Namely, Lip did actually kill Fitz in a 1v1. And that's going to cost Fitz a lot of time to get back and to start charging again. So the Vice is going to be up soon. It's going to be a Nano Vice because Izuyaki's also ahead of Creative. With the trade of the tanks, I mean, that makes all the difference. You get Fate down, but you can't lose Smurf. If you lose Smurf, then you don't have an advantage anymore. You're at the sort of stage now where a minute 30 gone, not a tick taken, Shanghai solid, and the Nano already used.
Smurf needs some help here, it would seem, as he tries to just hide behind the pillar. Will manage to stay alive. The Nano Boo's going to be committed to the fight there, and he gets right in on top of Lip. Shuts him down. Now they have a window of opportunity to get onto the point where that Tackflizer is not available for the side of the Shanghai Dragons. There's the team still playing forward, but now Fate going to be taken out of the equation as well by the pulse bomb from Prophet. They leap off of the point, though. Anti goes out onto 2. As they hide inside of the fire station, they will be okay. First tick now coming up. Fate going to be coming back. Primal Rage at the ready. Let's see if they can try to turn this or if they even want to take the fight, because right now they're not committing to it.
I mean, Fate has to be here, right? So they've given away 2 ticks for the fact that Smurf can return. Well, rather, Fate can return. Vice being popped by Lip here. Fate still has a primal. We're waiting for Vin Dame to maybe use a beat here to save the day.
Oh, Izuyaki. He was getting juggled around, but actually manages to connect the sleep as well as the anti there on the Smurf. Take him down to about half HP. Now it's going to be beat for beat. Jigon using his just a little bit sooner. And who are you? Absolutely gets destroyed. Everybody gets right on top of the enemy Genji. They find the elimination, and Fitz narrowly survives. And somehow to push back out onto the point here. Looking to take down Lee Jae-gon. He's playing fairly elusively, but with this Prophet's duo, they will eventually get on top of him, get the other support, and get the cap on point A. 3 minutes 45 in the time bank.
I mean, all this because Lip oversteps with the Nano. That actually seemed like a bit of a mistake. Okay, you want to Nano Lip, but at the same time, at that, he's just kind of front-lining, right? He runs towards the rest of Seoul Dynasty. They respond with their own Nano, and then Lip gets chased down, killed by Smurf and everybody else from the Seoul Dynasty. That entirely will cost you the point. It's good that Shanghai Dragons came back, gave away 2 techs, force ultimates, right? But they lose so much more for that, and the snowball continues at this point with Prophet's opening kill.
Yeah, I mean, Prophet starting to get these sticks on the regular is a pretty terrifying thing if you're a Dragons fan. 3 minutes remaining as they go ahead and they make their way down into the underpass. Prophet just going to be guiding the cart along as they gain control of the high ground. Free pushing.
And they have underpass and they have the high ground. I mean, they have everything currently because of that 1 kill. Dragons have to pop backwards and Nano will save Fitz.
And it does. Can he get the kill, though? They take Fate low. The anti's out on him. He's got a sliver of HP remaining, but now who are you? Going to be nanoed up with the Dragon Blade in hand. Boop back there from Vinheim as he tries to stay alive. Or you just, again, trying to get right on top of him, but he cannot out-damage the healing that's coming through, it would seem. So Cart still contested there for the moment, but Vinheim eventually will fall as Lip rejoins.
I mean, yeah, that's the other thing as well, right? Because your main tank is on low HP. There's not going to be another contest there. You're down members now. Okay, the Dragon Blade, the Nano Blade from Who Are You doesn't find the most members, but because Lip also converts one, it's enough for the Dragons to maintain control again, and we bleed the timer down further. So despite, I think, Dragons not having the cleanest defense on A after, I think, stalling for a long time, but then overstepping with Lip, this is a clean reset for them where they can have the visor again.
Yeah, still need to try to gain full control of this high ground, but then again, maybe not. They'll just get Prophet on the flank. And I'll dive back in, Lip under a little bit of pressure, Sleep Dart connecting for just a moment, and Smurf unable to leap out, just collides in with the door frame, and he will stay there. Fate going to be traded out, but oh my goodness, Lip. Okay, all right, yep. Some nice tracking. I mean, that's actual, unironic, beautiful tracking from Lip. Thumbs up with 2 more kills.
Let me drop into, I think this is a pretty fun fact. I was just going to say fact, but all of them are usually pretty fun. Lip has 8 final blows. The Dragons in their entire team so far has 11. So 8 out of 11 is just Lip. Is that like a mega deadlift? I don't even know. He's got above 11,000 damage per 10 as well. Way above everybody else in the server. Lip is pounding currently. Best player of these 10 in the current server.
Yeah, it would seem so. Still holds on to this tac visor that's been in his pocket for a while. Hasn't really felt the need to pop it. Drops down to the low ground, shoves Prophet away, forces him to go collect another health pack. Prophet again going to be pressuring the cart. Really does have that pulse bomb available. Dive into the back line there from Fate. This decent amount of pressure being pushed on the Fitz. He's going to have to reposition.
Nearly 5 ults for Seoul. Both teams, actually.
One now coming up, a second one going to be used. The Nano as well. They're just going to dump everything, it would seem, other than that pulse bomb so far. Falling low is Smurf. Sleep out, has to get himself to safety. Manages to stay alive at least for now, but now Fitz picks up one. Who are you going to be taken down? The advantage very much there for the side of the Seoul Dynasty. It seems like they should be able to complete this push right here, right now, but Fate trying to buy some more time. The Primal's still going to be rolling from him for a little bit longer. The stick is going to be good, but Lee Jae-gon says, I will take you down with me. The bloodthirsty support, he doesn't care if he gives his life for it. As long as he gets the kill, he's going to be satisfied. He gets that elimination on the Prophet, and that is enough for the Dynasty to say, okay, we have to disengage.
But there's 10 seconds remaining, so they have to go back in. Smurf survived the entire time, so they survived against Lips. Nano Visor, or just a Visor even, because Smurf took the brunt of the damage, doesn't go down. Here we go again, though. That Prophet self-death from the pulse bomb ends up being pretty big. Oh no, you're right.
The boop,
yeah, the
is
boop
absolutely beautiful. Smurf tries to leap in. They say no. Lee Jae-gon denies him access. And even if they could get to the cart there, the Dragon Blade was just pulled from Who Are You. There's no support ultimates to work with there to try to survive that. So who knows what could have happened. But that is great gatekeeping from Lee Jae-gon. He shuts that down.
And even, again, you go back to Lee Jae-gon's conversation here, he shut down 2 things. He shuts down the touch, but he also, again, kills Prophet with his own pulse bomb. It's a 1-for-1 trade. And as we start to head to OT, the payload positioning is so far forward that now the defensive team of Shanghai Dragons actually have a respawn advantage, especially in the OT. So we're looking at a situation where, despite Seoul kind of winning the fight, they reset at about 15 seconds remaining. Which sucks. You don't want to have to do that, but they had to. You see all these Shanghai members coming back to spawn, and that's one of the biggest Shanghai-isms that we have in this sort of matchup where you just have, we'll see this boop again, by the way, this will be the final boop coming in, which is that even when you're winning against Shanghai, are you really winning? Because it still feels like you're losing. It still feels like you haven't quite done enough, and Shanghai somehow still win when they're losing.
Well, Wonderfully done there. And you can see through that replay the communication coming through. Lee Jae-gun, he's moving up to the high ground, getting ready to have that very same boop versus Smurf. The call comes in that he's approaching through the underpass. He rotates down, gets the boop off, stops the touch. Wonderfully and perfectly done. Let's hit the lineup from Creative. It actually does end up connecting through it. I think a little bit late, but it seems like Who Are You still going to get clipped by it in the end.
So no changes in terms of composition here. Prophet still staying on the Tracer. Tracer Soldier combo versus the Soldier Genji combo. And really, I think when you look at the Dragons lineup, that's kind of best across the board in terms of what they want to be playing. Maybe only for Izayaki to go to Zen will be a slight improvement in terms of what he would prefer to play. See how this attack goes, though. Noticeably, Lip has been outpacing Fitz, but Fitz gets to defend his position here, where he gets, you would imagine, superior line of sight.
Well, for now, Lip is still ahead. Not by too much, but Prophet, I believe, actually getting slept there by Izayaki to get the quick pick. And that's a big opening now for the side of the Dragons as they get ready to assault the point. Smurf on the flank, now going to be tagged low. Anteed out, he's dead. Who Are You scoops the kill. Lip finds Fitz. And that might just be point A here in near record time for the side of the Dragons. They'll start making their way forward. Creative taking a couple tags on the back end.
Izayaki just opened up the entire point. I don't know if it was a sleep dart onto Prophet, but he certainly got the kill onto Prophet. Then the nade onto Smurf as well confirms that one. And really, when you have a team like this, everybody looks like a playmaker. Already one tick coming on through. Still waiting for first ultimate, but Izayaki's way ahead of Creative now.
Okay, good pressure on Lip. They managed to find that kill. Be a lot of damage now taken out of the fray, and as they get on top of Fate, it seems like the Dynasty may have just recovered this. Who Are You? Pressured out as well, get some good damage on the Prophet, but he's got the recall to rely on. And Who Are You? Cannot find the kill. Smurf will get him in the end. That's 2 minutes, 23 seconds now left for the Dragons.
So you're going to need to see a fast nano play coming through from the Dragons here. Creative should be able to respond. So as long as the Seoul Dynasty can sort of take the initial brunt of the nano, they will be able to respond very quickly. Other ultimates are looking pretty even. Prophet with the Pulse Bomb is also pretty large here as well, because we can drag this fight towards the point where Prophet can do something with that. But he is actually looking for a backstab.
Oh, he's sneaking and he gets it. Yep, Izayaki going to be taken out of the fray before he can use the nano. So just good time by as they look for some additional staggers. Hitting his head there on the top of the banister is Fate, but he will make it out safely.
A good play to slow things down. I mean, that's going to buy a ton of time for Seoul Dynasty to get ultimates. Now they have nearly 4 ultimates in the bank. A couple still coming online for the Dragons soon. Okay, they've spotted Prophet. They've not just spotted, they killed him.
Yeah, Who Are You? Getting the elimination is absolutely massive. Fate's still low for the time being, but it's not under fire, so still feeling comfortable enough. And oh man, he takes it so low before he pops that primal. Fate, limit testing just a little bit there. Manages to push it just about as far as he can possibly go. Has the rest of the Dynasty zoned into the back. Takes a little bit of damage and will get hounded down. Good chase comes in. Yeah, Fitz finding the kill. Now they're out onto the point. Prophet rejoins, nearly dies, but has the recall this time. Keeps himself alive. The nano onto Fitz. Helps shove back the Dragons. They buy more time due to the Dynasty. A minute remaining here for the Dragons, but so many ultimates available.
That seemed like a weird play from the Dragons, because Fate had to, I guess he was forced to Primal, plays a Primal pretty deep. Shanghai starts to take positioning, but no further ultimates. They don't try nano play, they don't try nano visor, they don't try and get offensive at all. They had no actual kill pressure, so despite staying alive for a while, no ability to get frags. As Seoul Dynasty dragged the fight back towards the point, Lee Jae-gun could have sound barrier, we save Fate, then play the nano into one of your offensive abilities, and a fight can start for the Dragons. Instead, everyone just slowly dies, Fate dies, Lee Jae-gun dies, and Dragons reset.
Okay, well, there's the nano. It's not going to go onto one of the offensive abilities. It's actually onto Fate yet again to just try to keep him alive. We didn't see it last time. This time, it does keep him in the fight. Second tick getting ready to come through here from the side of the Dragons. As the Dynasty can still try to play onto the point. Bionade goes down. Who Are You? And Fate going to be clipped by that. Now the sound barrier comes in. The attack fighters are going to be layered in. The Dragons are throwing everything that they have
no kills
at this point to try to get some eliminations, to try to open it up. And so far, it has not bared any fruit for them. Fate instead is going to be the one who falls and gets traded out. Smurf will go down. Who Are You? Just dashing around, just trying to stay elusive, trying to find an opening kill, but so far has been unable to do so. Lee Jae-gun and Izayaki under fire. Izayaki falling lower and lower, but Lip turns his sights to the side, finds Creative. Now Fit's going to be eliminated. The Dragons might just be able to push through. They're looking for Vinheim. Who Are You's got him off the back of the damage there from Lip. Prophet going to be forced to recall. He tries to buy some more time, but Lip punches him in the mouth, puts him down on his rear, and the point cap will at last come through for the side of the Dragons. 2.5 minutes added to the time bank.
Super winnable for Seoul, though, because we dragged that one into the OT. That's exactly the goal for Seoul. If you can't get the A-hold, you are going to go for the maximum time burnt off the clock, which is to push into the OT. And great plays by Smurf, I gotta say. You know, Smurf did the most that he could there. You see the dive coming on through from Fate and Who Are You? Smurf counter dives the opposing backline. Lip has to spend his entire visor just on a Smurf. We trade both tanks, and then in the neutral, that's when Lip and Who Are You win the fight overall for the Shanghai Dragons. Now, opportunity again. Nano online first for Creative. Iziaki trailing by 15.
Smurf just playing up here, tucked away in the high ground, poking and prodding where he can with these little zaps. Not getting too much, and does get poked back in return. Cart starting to shift its way down to the other pass. Prophet moves forward, keeps it contested at least for the time being. Pulse bomb at the ready. He's going to dash forward. He's looking for a target. He's not going to be able to get it. Thought maybe Lee Jae-gon was going to get clipped there in the end. He does not. Nanovisor goes through for Lip. He's looking for a target. The first one's going to be Fitz. Finds the elimination. Prophet making his exit as Smurf now is stuck in no man's land. Ends up falling down. This is a massive opening for the Dragons on the push.
And they might get one more here there as well. Creative spotted. No way they let him get away. Surely, okay, they can't chase any further than that. Great job by Creative to stay alive. Prophet can't say the same. I think he went aggressive there. It looked like he died on the backline, going for a kill or something onto Iziaki. Maybe he was trying to stall the payload, but it cost him his life, and we're about to enter the final fight. 2 ultimates into 3 ultimates potentially online for the Dragons. Far less for the Seoul Dynasty.
Yeah, they need Vinham to get this sound barrier up quickly. If he dies in this fight before he can drop the beat, then that could be absolutely devastating for them. Fate pressured low. That's going to be the primal pop now as he tries to keep them contained inside of Grand Central. Who Are You? Down to a sliver of HP. Prophet tries to pursue for the elimination, but he cannot get it. The cart in the meantime, 1.21 meters left away. Vinham just gets the kill. Lee Jae-gon, he's going to be taken down. He can't get the beat out. Oh my god, it's absolutely massive from Vinham. Gets the initial pick now. Who Are You going to be taken out of the fray as well? Fate has fallen. The Dragons need to reset right now. They have one more opportunity.
That was the most insane outplay. How did Vindane do that? Lee Jae-gon straight up Ajax this beat. There was no beat. It got cancelled. Vindane killed him mid-beat. Holy crap. Who Are You now has to save the day. Fate comes out on a ball to contest. That would have been Shanghai's win. They had the sound barrier going into a blade. Everything working in their favor, but this is now dire straits.
He rolls up, he gets a touch. Smurf going to be there. He does have the primal range. Blade's going to be pulled from Who Are You first and foremost. Smurf goes in with the primal, says, okay, I've got the Soldier 76. I'm juggling him around, trying to get the eliminations, but he is not playing the card, and they're going to need him there in just a moment. Lip goes down, though, so does Fate. Dragons might not be able to make this happen. Lee Jae-gon going to be eliminated. The anti is out. Oh no, Who Are You? They just need to get the Genji. He will get Vindham. He will get Creative, but he cannot get the map win. Prophet will celebrate by killing himself off with yet another pulse bomb here at the end, as the Dynasty will successfully hold in front of point B, and they will go ahead and tie this up.
My goodness. My heart skipped a beat.
Oh,
that was, again, you're not going to see this, but we're about this. Oh, no, we're not. We just... Could this be it? We're going to get it. Yeah,
that was
just
it.
Flies in. I can tell you what happened. You won't see it in the replay just yet, but Vindane literally just flew into Lee Jae-gon and killed him. I think it was a combination of
beat.
like... Yeah, he drops his own beat, fires a bunch of shots, speeds into Lee Jae-gon, has a punch there as well, and then kills Lee Jae-gon. I don't think he planned to kill Lee Jae-gon mid-beat and get the Ajax in there, but it just ended up happening because Lee Jae-gon was going for the beat at the same time as Vindane flying on through. And that's what wins Seoul the map. That is ultimately what will win Seoul the map.
Well, utterly incredible, and on the slimmest of margins, and the heroic plays of Vindham that I think shocked even himself. They managed to make it happen. They successfully hold in front of point B, their pick of Midtown, working out for them. Now we find ourselves tied up at 1-1. Looks like Route 66 is going to be our escort selection, though, for the Shanghai Dragons. We'll see if they can take a lead or if the Seoul Dynasty can catch them by surprise when we return. Well, 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 here we are, tied up 1-1. These teams seemingly fated to go to the distance, and I hope that it absolutely happens. Crazy, crazy map, and Vinheim's heroics really getting them across the line. Lee Jae-gon, giveth, he taketh away. He gets the denial on the contest there on Dynasty's attack, and then he ends up dying with the beat in his hands. But Vinheim looks good, and I tell you what, Avril, when I have a kid, I want to send them to the Seoul Dynasty Toby Center for kids who can't play Lucio good and want to learn to play Lucio good and other stuff too. It was wonderfully done by Vinheim as he continues to make a fantastic name for himself and put himself in contention, keep himself in that conversation for Rookie of the Year.
Oh, could a main support player ever win? That'll be
crazy.
Amazing. It'll be amazing because we have like 1,000,001 amazing DPS players in that rookie position. Well, as a rookie this year, so a lot of competition. It's like the best year to be a rookie and the worst year to be a rookie because everyone is so good as a rookie this year around. But
yeah,
well, it is so ironic that the defense of Lucio in the final fight on B is the one that ends up making the difference. Like you said, Lee Jae-gon on his B defense, Vinheim on his B defense. I also have to kind of give credit to Seoul overall for how long they stalled out A. They forced until the OT, so there wasn't a lot of time for Dragons to get across the line for B. If Dragons had another minute to play with without the extra stalling that happened, then okay, Lee Jae-gon Ajax's beat, lose the sound barrier, they reset the fight, but it's still Dragons. They get to come back for one more fight, maybe they can still get it because there's no more time left due to the fact they lost all the time on A. That also contributes to the difference there as well. So a couple things compounding into what the final result ended up being.
Well, now tied up 1-1, and with the map pick coming through for the side of the Shanghai Dragons, they've elected, as mentioned, to take us into Route 66. So can still probably anticipate a lot of that Winston v. Winston matchup here, especially, you know, around the first 2 points, even in the point C, if we can get that far. Still a decent potential to see that matchup. So that Smurf v. Fate front line very much going to likely continue in the same way that we've been seeing. It's all about who can execute the dives a little bit better. It's been back and forth in that regard. Prophet looking overall great there on Midtown, not finding as much value when he's playing the Genji versus, you know, Lip and Who Are You. So we'll see how they fare going into this third map and who's going to be able to move up 2-1 in the series.
And I think as well, when you look at a map like Dorado, one thing I like about Smurf in this lineup, not that there's an alternative realistically for Seoul, is that when you get to the C point and Winston's value starts to diminish greatly, you can actually go towards the Zarya, which Smurf has shown plenty of proficiency on so far. And that's not something I think that Fate will be able to do, being that the Dragons have still kept Fate and Void's hero pools pretty separate in terms of Fate sticking to all the main tank heroes, Void sticking to all the off-tank heroes. Escort is Shanghai's best map type against Seoul, though. 72% win rate overall, 13-5 all-time. That's an insane stat scorecard.
Yeah, and you have to kind of question how many of those 5 wins were against the 2018 Dragons, you know, for the side of the Seoul Dynasty.
The 040, yeah.
When did that kind of come to, you know, where did they accumulate those numbers from? Because something tells me that the more modern iteration of Dragons is where the lion's share of those wins came from, and the old version of the Dragons is where the majority of those losses came from. So if you kind of were to compartmentalize or disconnect the 2018 season, I think that looks like an even more dominating figure than the what it really shows in the overall perspective.
I'm going to point out one thing here, and that's that Lipper's not going to start on the Widowmaker on defense. I think most of the hitscan players prefer to actually start on the Soldier, a lot more stable, and more consistent overall. If we had gone to maybe Circuit Royale, you would have probably seen first of all Void being subbed in, but also then Lip play the Widowmaker. So there's going to be another Soldier battle. Prophet will go off the Tracer, back on towards the Genji for this map.
All right, let's see if we can have a bit more impact, because kind of got diffed a bit there by Who Are You on Oasis. Seemingly, though, the blood's been flowing now for the side of the Dynasty. Maybe just needed that initial map to try to wake up a bit. For now, the deflect is going to be used. Who Are You under a bit of fire, and Vinheim will go ahead and get that opening elimination. Lip again going to be taking a nap here on the high ground. There's the dive, there's the execution. Vinheim finds the final blow yet again. And now Fate will fall, and that is basically cracked open point A here for the side of the Dynasty.
And currently, Vinheim has the most final blows for Seoul at this exact moment in time. So if we just pause and freeze here in the game right now, Vinheim currently has the most final blows in the entire server. So it opens up on both Lip and Who Are You. Just let your Lucio get the 2 frags on the the star DPS players and Dragons. It just happens.
Well, they're looking for the recontest. Just a couple more meters left to go as Who Are You. Playing the cart for now. We'll be joined by Fate. Big Bionade out there onto the high ground, though. Clips onto 3. Lip, Who Are You, and Izayaki all need to hide. Looks like they will be able to survive here for a little bit longer.
Fate's
but
got
Fitz is
Primal.
very much outpacing towards this visor. And there's the dashes. Prophet getting the resets, getting the kills. Legion on Who Are You now dead. Now he moves up to the high ground looking to further contest as the cart will get capped. And it's just shy of 5 minutes remaining here for the side of the Dynasty on this push.
Lip going down late here as well by, still being in a position to be dived. Although I think, to be fair, he probably wasn't going to run far enough away to get out at that stage. But you can see the sort of flowchart there. Shanghai Dragons, they got triple or quadruple bionated. Most of them had to hide. Fate built up a primal in the same time, so he ends up primaling, but 2 members go down anyway. Had members from Shanghai Dragons survived, they could actually use the Fate primal to maybe either A, force ultimates from Seoul, or B, even turn the fight around and win. But now Seoul cap A for free, and they get a primal, and they got 5 ultimates. So Seoul are really far ahead, like extremely far ahead.
Yeah, and Fate looking to push up onto the high grounds. Great boop there from Vinhaim to deny him access. Fitz with the visor. He's looking for the 5K, and he is going to get it. Absolutely tears them to shreds. 2 ults, 5 kills, no problem. The math adds up right there for the side of the Dynasty as the cart continues to move unhindered.
I love the emote as well because, once you get the ace, you got to do the emote. Lip's done it when he's got the ace as well. Fitz is like, it's definitely my turn. Also, Fitz is like, yeah, we're not going to let Vinhaim, the main support leadership player, have the most final blows. It's got to be the soldier, soldier. The DPS has to be the star, you know what I'm saying? So, here we go. Blades available now. Ultimate's starting to come online for the Dragons. Finally,
that sleep,
in the final
not
hour.
going to connect. Smurf's still going to be sit for now. They put that sleep dart on cooldown. Primal going to be popped as he just shoves them back into the interior. Cart just 1.79 meters left to go. The beat going to be coming through second for the side of Vinhaim, and Prophet gets a 2-for-1 special with the blade. He looks for a 3rd kill. Lip will cut him down with the Helix rockets, but the damage is done. Lip is the only one limping away from the fight. It's 4:45 moving into the garage, and Lip dies at the back end, so there's some further stagger.
I feel like we're watching a different team now. Like the Dragons that just won previous maps, they're not here currently. You knock on the door, no one's currently home. There's a total of 1 final blow from the entire Dragon squad, and that's on Lip so far, this entire defense. So that's got to change pretty quick snap. 18 final blows total for Seoul Dynasty. It's been a complete roll through. Dynasty have barely had to do too much. Who are you finally getting some kills?
Yeah, finally getting his hands put to work here. He'll come up with 4 kills for himself. Yeah, very nicely done. Off the back of just basically, Nano being invested
You know what?
So they will stop the cart, but it's still 4 minutes to chew through.
It will be the most Seoul and Dragons thing in the world right now if Dragons actually complete a hold on to C despite there being 4 minutes. That would be the most classic Dragons thing. You get rolled on A and B, but you somehow just still win. Even when you're losing, you're winning. That's the Dragons' MO. But Seoul give themselves a brilliant opportunity here to actually finish capping with a good time bank.
Okay, the blade's going to be pulled, but there's nobody really playing forward, and I don't think Who Are You wants to go that deep in. Bionade will go through clips onto Vinhaim, and it helps keep Who Are You alive, but otherwise the blade is not going to find too much other than to zone back the members of the Dynasty, so they'll say, cool, glad you used that, thank you so much.
Good disengage. That's what you want to see.
Anti down on the Fate, they're going to try to force the Primal, they will be able to do so. The Sleep Dart not going to connect, so now they have to deal with the Raging Monkey. Scientist, sorry. Is at the ready. Not pulling the trigger on it yet. Instead, counter dive comes back through. Fate going in a bit too deep, but Izayaki will manage to find Vinhaim, and Who Are You gets on top of Creative, so that's the support side of the fight. So even though they lose out on Fate, they still manage to trade up.
I think that's great because, Fate will give his life away, but the rest of the divers from Shanghai Dragons will connect anyway. You can see from Seoul's POV, their game plan is, all right, we will receive Fate, this Primal will end, we'll deal with him, and when that's done, we're going to go back in and play our ultimates, namely the Nano Visor here. But they didn't expect the Who Are You flank as well, coming from the right side, from deep in his POV. That gets to kill the Creative, and Dame's already dead, and suddenly the fight's over.
They start making their way in, Fate having to leap out. Just get steadily healed up here by Lee Jae-gun, who once they have that sound barrier online, take another crack at it. He himself under some fire. Fitz trying to get that elimination, but yeah, the cart for now moving up unhindered. And Who Are You trying to get up onto the high ground to contest? He's just going to fall over. Now there's no deflect to help defend here. Bionade out onto the supports of the side of the Seoul Dynasty, but nobody can get into the back line to try to take them out. Fitz just keeping everybody locked in a position, but now Lip is going to try to counteract this. Moves forward, finds through with attack visor of his own. And Fitz now is out in no man's land, playing around the Mega Pack. Will be able to grab it for just a moment with the re-arrival of Who Are You. They get the elimination. The cart now going to be halted once more.
It's like I said, even when Dragons are losing, they're actually winning. That was a player advantage for the Seoul Dynasty. They pull the trigger when they need to as well. Fitz gets the opening kill, 5 versus 4. Nano Visor running on in. Shanghai play patiently, bide their time, waiting for respawns. Then Lip finally has a Visor coming in through, and he just wipes the floor with the Seoul Dynasty. This can't keep happening.
Okay, there's the blade out. Izayaki tries to get the sleep dart through, but it does not connect, and Prophet now unleashed. Cuts down 3, looks for a little bit more. Dive into the back, they look for Lee Jae-gon. He does hold on to the sound barrier, and he needs to survive. Were he to get staggered, this would be catastrophic for the side of the Dragons. Now they have one more chance to try to contest this card. Limited
Reaper.
ultimates, though. The Reaper does get swapped
Lips
in.
coming back on the Reaper. Sound barrier should be the play here for sure. That's what they've been waiting for. Lee Jae-gon didn't want to use the sound barrier versus the blade. It's going to have to come out now. They're waiting for the bubble to pop. He's dead. What the hell was that?
Smurf just cleaves down both the supports, and now he may not even get to use it at all. Fake does have his primal rage. He's going to pop that, try to buy some more time here for them to rejoin, but he's getting focus fired. He's got to exit out around the back. He recontests there for just a moment, leaps away. Now the blade's in for Who Are You? The sound barrier does connect to the 3 members that were alive. Who Are You, though, fishing for a target. Can't find a damn thing, and Fitz will cut him down to size. 0.62 meters left to go. His Prophet will be traded out and Lip with the Reaper. Finds Creative. Suddenly, it seems winnable here for the side of the Dragon. Another one as Fitz will fall. Vindheim finds that elimination. Now Smurf going to be antied out on the cart. There's so many people from the Dragons that are here. 30 seconds remaining. They managed to stabilize yet again.
This cannot continue happening. This is that Aaron Paul moment where he says they can't keep getting away with it. The Dragons, they should have been done there. That would have been it. Lee Jae-gon's dead. Somehow comes out, still saves everybody. The Fate Primal Rage actually buys a lot of time. While you gets nothing on the blade. Great boot from Vindheim, but Lips Reaper, the rest of the Dragons still get enough kills to stabilize. They stabilized off nothing.
Okay, it's going to be a nano onto Who Are You? No blade, obviously, to speak of here, and he's going to get focused by the hell down. His Fitz, he's got a nano of his own as well as the Visor. The Helix Rockets find the first. Lip goes down. Now there's no DPS, rather, in the fight here for the side of the Dragons.
Should be the cap.
Personal, they get the elimination. Yeah, it seems like they should be able to make this happen, and they will. It happens in overtime, though. So yet again, it is fantastic time buying on display from the side of the Shanghai Dragons. This time bank could have been so monstrous for the Dynasty, but they drain it down to 0.
And even then, I think there was a reasonable cause as well for belief that maybe Dragons could have even maintained that defense, held, prevented the time bank at all. But when you consider the stakes at hand in terms of what did we have on the Seoul side coming into C? 4+ minutes, more than 4, right? A lot of ultimates in the bank, and it still ends up being Shanghai Dragons pulling it down to in overtime. So Seoul, they get the cap deservedly. They do get the cap deservedly because they did so well in A and B, but almost none of that transferred onto C. Like, that was a massive reset. Dragons at one point, like, they were sitting on a collective 1 final blow versus, I think, 18 final blows from Seoul. That was the stat line that I read out. And that completely flipped the script quite quickly. And now, you know, it's not like Dragons have caught up yet. They're still only on 17 and Seoul are on 34, so that's literally double. But for how difficult that was, Dragons seem to, like, turn on and off that heat just with a light switch. Just boom, instantly. C defense looking pretty good. So if they can start now, if they can start the attack now with, you know, some fire in the belly to begin with instead of kind of having to find that towards the end, Dragons can cap. And the scary part is if they cap with any sort of time bank, they've actually had a more successful attack than the Seoul Dynasty, who walked through A and B with no issues.
Well, they get greeted by an anti-nade as the door is open to the diner. The Creative just getting as much of a lead as he possibly can, but Izayaki's already very quickly caught back up. Cart now going to be brought around as no one can really play forward on this corner. Just wait for them to just go ahead and crest around the side. Lip going to reposition, moves down to the low ground here along the ledge. Now starts charging forward as the bubble's going to be broken for both of these Winstons. Anti out onto 2. Fate somehow escaping with his life. Fitz will find Lee Jae-gon, though, cutting the healing down significantly, but it's at the cost of Profit. So 1 for 1, and a significantly closer run back here for the side of Lee Jae-gon. For now, though, gonna just be stuck in place as they look to contest the high ground, jump up on top of Big Girls. They will displace them. And Who Are You? Antied out. And they're managing to find the whip shot kill. Look for a little bit more. Fate going way out of there. Has to eject himself.
I'll tell you what, though, I mean, this is helping Izayaki build the nano up. He's only barely ahead of Creative, but it could make a small difference here. Now that we have Who Are You back as well, I mean, 1 minute is gone, but the payload has been steadily making some progress. It's been stalled out now by Smurf being on the payload itself, so the nano should come through this fight very soon.
Lip and Prophet exchanging some shots there. Fitz just a little bit further ahead. Looking Fitz, I should say. A little bit ahead. Nano is going to be used on a Who Are You, but now Fate in a bad spot, falling lower and lower. Doesn't have a Primal to try to bail himself out. Pulse bomb from Prophet. Not going to find anything. Not quite sure who he was sending that one at. Either way, doesn't find a stick, doesn't find a kill. Fate still somehow, still alive. He's trying to maybe deny them jumping on top of the Winston. Says, well, you'll die if you try to go for it. But either way, Vinham going to be taken out. It's at the cost of 2, though. Who Are You and Fate both have fallen. Lip not finding too much value here with this tack visor. Has to drop back down to the low ground there. Heal himself up with the biotic field, and now has to try to make his exit. He's playing along the ledge, and well, Smurf, he won't send them sailing off the side. He'll just cleave down 3 in the back end of the fight.
Well, thankfully Smurf survived against Prophet's Pulse Bomb. That's good that team damage isn't enabled in this game. But now we're in a sort of situation where, okay, we do win a team fight for Seoul. 2 minutes expended here. It is costing a lot of time for the Shanghai Dragons, and when we compare that to where Seoul are at in the same stage, Seoul have already been on to beat at this stage on their attacking phase. There is an ultimate advantage on the side of the Dragons. Now Sound Barrier available, Primal held onto, Primal used by Smurf. Vindame has a rally, but the Sound Barrier should ultimately be more valuable than the rally.
Dive on the high ground there from Fate again, trying to contest, and he just gets Vindam. Vindam had the rally and everything, but they just couldn't keep him alive. Not sure where Creative was to try to get that peel. Looks like Creative just setting up for a sleep dart on a Fate, but a big opening now as he's going to have to run all the way back over here towards point A to help with the contest. Rally can arrive.
See the reset, by the way.
He gets there.
You can't even really go for a fight if you're Dragons, because the entire Seoul Dynasty team is just disengaged. So, you know, they don't want to be into fight right now. They want to go for a final contest. Here come all the ultimates, though.
Sound Barrier is going to be used, and they still have the visor to use in the back end of this. Rally's currently rolling for the side of the Dynasty. Lip's going to be taken down. Izayaki cut down as well. Prophet dives in with the help of the rest of the team, and they will just wipe the floor with them. They don't even need to use the visor.
No. I mean, the best part about what Seoul did there is, I think, Smurf's positioning, if anyone cares to rewind back and watch, he was hiding in that sort of tunnel that we can see down in the middle of our screens here. So no one actually chased Smurf out, because if you're Dragons, you can do a couple of things. Should we chase anybody else that's not Smurf? Should we focus on the payload push? Do we just dive on Smurf and try to get that kill? Hindsight would say maybe just try and get the kill onto Smurf here, because he had the backline control. So as soon as Seoul want to start the fight, Smurf's already on that backline. Izayaki's dead instantly, so no chance of Nano left.
Nano Blade coming through. It's going to be a Nano on a Fit to try to keep him alive. Visor rolling. Looks for a target. Fate going low. Pops the Primal Rage just in time to stay alive in the fight. Now needs to create some space for his squad. Lip as well, getting dangerously close to having another visor available. Who Are You backs off, antied out. The cart now advancing forward here in overtime. Prophet finding one before he goes down. Lip claiming that kill. Now they're disconnected from the cart. They cannot contest it. They will be able to glide through. They get that bump up in the time bank, but they need to storm their way to point B, and right now they're suffering some staggers. Creative will fall down, though. That sends him to the far spawn point as Vinham continues to scuffle it out with Lee Jae gone a bit.
This changes the sort of directive for Shanghai slightly, as they're not even really fully in control of spawn just yet. Vindame still gets a kill on his way out, so that will slow things down a little bit for the Shanghai Dragons. They had to wait until OT to actually get that cap, which means now as we go through the rest of Dorado, it is both unlikely that they actually finish the map, but if they... Oh, sorry, Route 66. I forget. It's a nighttime map.
Nighttime
you know
map
what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, they changed which map is nighttime, and that just, you know, that flubs everything for me. But yeah, it's unlikely to actually finish this map, but if they do, they have to do the OT as well, so it's likely we maybe get a double OT, both teams in the OT, 0 minutes to work with.
Could very well be. A little bit of a battle back and forth, but Vinham comes in, he upsets the Winston 1v1. Breaking the rules there, gets himself involved, finds the elimination. So with Fate going down, that's going to allow for Prophet to have his respawn rejoin, because now we have to have the reset for the side of the Shanghai Dragons, and this is costing them precious seconds out of the time bank. 1 and 15
Can't
left.
afford this. Because you're at the sort of stage now where even capping B is going to be an OT, which means you have a 130 to cap C with, and if you only have 130 in C, you're only allowed, I think, 1 reset to finish the map, and even getting 1 reset means you're probably going to be bad on economy. So at this stage, speaking of economy, Seoul still haven't been forced to use all that much. They have all the control right now in terms of positioning, ultimates coming online. Dragons very much struggling. This is looking like a Seoul map.
And it is. Smurf now into the back line. He's going to be taking a nap here. Miraculously, nobody has woken him up, so there will go the Primal Rage. Fate with his own. Gets on top of Fitz, finds that elimination, but now Lee Jae and Who Are You have both fallen. He continues to zap away. Prophet arrives from the flank. They get the cleanup. And it's a Primal for a fight win here, as Fate is just going to get staggered on the back end of this, you would suspect. Just nowhere to go. They get that elimination here. Now 25 seconds remain. The cart rolling back. Dragons, they need to have that hive mind activate. They need to get on the same page here.
It's the economy that's the factor, though, because even when Seoul are winning, they're not having to spend ultimates. And Vindame's getting in the kills department too again. Fun fact, Vindame has more final blows than any single member of the Shanghai Dragons, including Lit. Vindame's on 12, the highest final blows in Dragons is on 9.
Well, here we go. Overtime coming through. Somebody's got to touch. I was just about to say,
No.
somebody has to touch the card! Nobody touches the card!
I don't think they were winning anyway. That's maybe pessimistic of me to say, but yeah, they could have touched the card.
It doesn't matter.
Spent ultimates, maybe. Oh yeah, you're right.
You at least play it out!
Oh, I know, I'm aware. You do at least play it out. I'm aware, but I think, you know, on some level, I can appreciate the Dragons just said, you know what, just save it for the fans. We don't need to waterboard the fans with another 3 minutes of us not doing too much here. So you just get ready for the next map. You know, sometimes it's respectable. You take the respectable L there and you say, yeah, we probably lose this map. It's whatever. You know, we go next. Seoul in the lead now, 2-1. Who knew?
Oh God, I like the way that you phrased that. It's very. Very poignant, but
look, if there's a way to forfeit the map and type /GG, the Dragons just did it, right there.
Yeah, you guys can't see my face right now, but I'm at a loss. We'll never know what would have happened, what they could have gotten done with all of those ultimates. It was like 4 ults versus 4 or 5 there on the side of the Dynasty, but we'll never know what the result would have been. And that's going to go into the what if category in the Overwatch cinematic universe. Oh dear, for a series that we will never produce.
I think they would have lost.
Yeah, I mean, I happen to agree, but this is a team who we praise for being so clutch in these moments, Avril, that you have to kind of consider that they possibly could have won it out. But the Dynasty, they've been on a hot streak. They storm the map, they take it to the end, they get it in OT, and then the Dragons drop the spaghetti here at the very end. There you go. Dynasty up 2-1. Now at match point. This is not how I expected any of this to go. But okay, we'll see what the hell happens as we do have New Queen Street coming up next. That could be the decider. If Dynasty can win there, they clinch the series, they move on, they stay in the upper bracket. Shanghai Dragons, they need to shake off this big old Charles IX. They need to focus back up, come into this next map, and win it if they want to take us to a Game 5. And we will see if they can do that, because that is a hell of a move to recover from. But don't go anywhere, guys. That map is coming up in just a few. Just a reminder, everybody, we don't talk about Midtown. We don't talk about Route 66. That's just the way that things are after today. We're just going to go ahead and ignore it. Never happened. Never happened. We can talk about the Midtown from the second series, but we don't talk about the one from the first series. Never occurred. Route 66 wasn't played here. Dynasty now at 2-1. They find themselves at match point yet again. It's going to be the map pick here for the side of the Shanghai Dragons, and they have elected to take us into New Queen Street for push.
And as a reminder as well, the last time these two teams met, this is actually where the series ended 3-1 for Dragons. It was on Colosseo, and we had probably one of the best comebacks on a push map ever seen, where, just to go through it very briefly, what was it, like 2 people died, Lip and Iziaki died, Lee Jae-gon taxis 2 of them back to the point, and then they kind of clutch it out as a 5-man unit again, despite being down what is effectively 3 players when Lee Jae-gon has to go back to spawn and they're pushing into enemy territory. So one of the craziest comebacks on a push map, a map that isn't super favored for comebacks, but the Dragons did it anyway. So we're going to New Queen Street, not Colosseo. That is going to be the map choice of the Shanghai Dragons, and I do wonder, look, we're going to see more of those kind of clutch moments coming on through. I think Dorado was not Dorado, again, the night maps are throwing me off here. Route 66 is a big outlier for the Dragons' performance. That was not a good performance from Dragons at all. Seoul deservedly won that one. C9 or not, I mean, Seoul were definitely ahead in all metrics, so Seoul, I would say, demolished Shanghai Dragons on Route 66 and now look firmly in the lead to maybe clean this one up. It would be a 3-1 after Dragons have gotten their 3-1 win, but it is the Dragons, and maybe they can still make that comeback.
It would be a major reversal, and one that I think that even the Seoul Dynasty fans didn't necessarily think was going to happen. Because this team, the Dragons have for a very long time kind of been the kryptonite of the Seoul Dynasty when they are looking hot, when it does seem like they are the best ones in the region. And when it seems like they should be able to best the Dragons, they often can't quite get it done versus this squad. So this could be a huge pickup for the side of the Seoul Dynasty, is, again, this keeps them in the upper bracket if they can close it out right here, right now. And given that they would go up against the Fusion, while the Fusion have been looking better in their last few series, they can already say, like, well, we comfortably bested them. We swept them 3-0, so we should be able to really understand the tendencies of this team and potentially make our way into that grand final of the Kickoff Clash. We'll just have to wait and see, though, because they still will have their work cut out for them. The Dragons, if nothing else, while they do have these Shang 9s from time to time, have proven that they are a team that can kind of shake off those little mistakes. They can refocus back in map over map. So we'll see if they can do it here. We'll see if the Hive Mind can make its return, or if the Dynasty will just be able to get that 3-1 in reply from last week's matchup.
We've seen Dragons down in this kind of position before. They had the reverse sweep against the Guangzhou Charge in the regular season. We've seen them in positions where they're down 2-1. I think Valiant were up 2-1 against them. Tragically, the Valiant couldn't close that one out. That is the Valiant, though. Seoul's a different type of beast, right? Seoul is definitely a team that's capable of closing out the series, and that would be what you would expect here. It would be quite tragic for Seoul to not be able to get a 3-1 victory or even a 3-2 victory, but Dragons will have to do it with a couple of substitutions. So Void coming in for the push map. As you'd probably expect, Zarya pretty damn good here. Flitter to come in to play the Reaper. He's hovering the Genji, but most likely will be the Reaper, because if you wanted to play the Genji, you would have kept Ryu in.
Yep, exactly. So we'll see what they land on at the very end, but Void sticking with his Zarya almost assured. Smurf, whether or not he's going to match, we'll just have to wait and see. Or if he just wants to stick with the Winston, because he's been playing the Winston pretty damn cleanly today. So honestly, wouldn't mind it if he just sticks with his pick, and it seems like he's going to.
And this is where Prophet has to think about how much value Trace is going to get as well. We said Zest. I think I said the same thing about Zest in our previous match. He ended up doing quite well, but now you're playing up against, I think the Void Zarya should be a little bit scarier.
Well, there's the prio target for everybody who plays against the Shanghai Dragons. Taking down first and foremost is Lip from Fall. Fitz gets a nice kill. Fleta taking a nap there for just a moment, but will be safe as we still wait for the bot to unlock. Nearly get the push off the side of the map there. Void playing dangerously close to the edge. Won't manage to stay alive. Smurf going to be sleeping, woken up immediately by a right click from Void. As he just continues to zap away. Prophet going to drop down, start getting the bot moving here for the side of the Dynasty.
And Dragon's still waiting for the opportunity to walk on in. I mean, this could be it. Smurf's low HP. Flitter feels like he's got an advantage. Yes, cuts out Smurf's escape, but Smurf still gets a lot of healing back from his teammates anyway. Ultimate's starting to come online now. Fitz far ahead of Lip, which didn't really happen for most of the series, but he firmly is in that position currently. Bot's been reset here by the Shanghai Dragons, so Seoul Dynasty need to find control again as their ultimates start to come online.
Yeah, Vindham and Profits swinging around the flank there. Will manage to stop the bot and its tracks before it can get too much damage. Looking for the stick, not going to be able to find it. Can't get any damage off of it either. Profit, the near miss. Vindham going to get picked off. Lip make his return, looking to catch up here to Fitz with that tack visor. And he's doing a damn good job of it now as Creative will go down. The bot's going to start pushing for the side of the Shanghai Dragons, and they'll take a lead.
Good individual outplay there by Flitter as well. He dodges the sleep dart from Creative via the shift, and well, now they'll be able to push on further forward after getting a number of kills that are unresponded to, and that's even with Seoul coming up to ultimates slightly faster. Lip should be able to catch up now to Fitz. Namino Visor on both ends will be pretty scary. I mean, as Flitter gets toward Death Blossom as well, we saw what Alpha Yi did last time is in the previous matchup, looking for those flanks to get those Death Blossoms in. Unless Vindham Creative can shut it down, it will be pretty deadly.
Nano going to be used. Fitz now charging forward with the tack visor pop. Does get antied, but he still manages to pursue deep enough to come up with 3 kills, and somehow he does not die. Fitz and Profit will clean it up. 4 kills here for the Soldier 76. Profit getting Void as the team wiped out as the bot, shipping back across the opposite side of the map. Now we'll see how far they can go, though. Need 26 meters to try to match.
Oh, extremely well protected Fitz was, and a note as well, Lip didn't actually pop his visor, so didn't feel confident challenging. Lead check on was 99%, I believe, towards Sound Barrier, so couldn't counter that one either. Profit just saw briefly there was on the back lines, and Shanghai have noted that but can't do anything against Profit right now. They just want to prevent the Seoul Dynasty from being able to get the checkpoint. They have the ultimates to do so.
Damage flying out. Profit looking for another pulse bomb. Almost has that built up as we will hear the visor getting popped there by Lip. He's getting quite a bit of damage in return, though. Not finding too many targets, so won't be able to find any kills. Grab comes down, I believe it's a solo on the Fitz, who has so far been kept alive. Fleta goes into the back line with the Death Blossom, finally will finish him off, but it's the cost of Izayaki. But though, helping them trade up, will find Smurf. Vindham again, finding a nice little kill. Fleta will fall, but the bot is going to be shifted away, and Profit, yeah, gets taken down. Nice shots from Flip. Find the elimination. Will get eliminated by Creative in the end, but Creative is going to be staggered as the bot is getting closer and closer to being able to push yet again here for the side of Shanghai.
That martyrdom kill from Creative onto Lip will actually put a bit of pressure on the Dragons, though, because they don't now have that soldier in the front lines already dealing some damage, waiting for Lip to come back in, so it's not going to be a clean re-push from the Dragons just yet. So far, Kilos, this has been the game of resets and, well, rather disengages, because you have Dragons throwing all ultimates in, Seoul disengaged, they re-engage with their own ultimates, Dragons do the same thing, and they end up winning the fight.
Profit again looking for the pulse bomb, but again not going to find anything. Comes up shy there of the mark. Can't get the elimination, so he's seeking. A Creative and Smurf going to get dropped. Fitz and Profit just taking the bot forward as much as they possibly can. They'll get close to tying it up, but eventually have to make their exits. At least keep the bot away from the pushing side here for
That is actually huge, because Profit kind of denying the bot movement and also just sneaking the payload away and resetting it means that Seoul will have another fight coming in, and that's huge. So now you see it, the bot's back to where it was when Shanghai won the fight, except they've made 0 progress. Seoul Dynasty get a very well-timed fight. Shanghai lead by only the 2 meters at the moment.
Oh, he tries to use the prediction there off the Helix Rockets, cannot, but he doesn't have the attack visor available, but there's no support for him. Manages to, at least to help set up the kills onto the enemy support. Smurf now falling low, trying to retreat, keep himself at arm's length from Fleta. Manages to stay alive, but Vindham now is going to get dropped. So 1 support out of the fight here for the side of the Dynasty as they try to win out this fight. Bot shifting back here in Dynasty's favor, as Void will just go ahead and grab it up for themselves yet again.
3 minutes now remaining. No team's taken any sort of serious lead. It's rare that you see a game being so close. At 36 meters is currently the maximum lead that we do have, with Fitz over Lip in this particular fight. So Dynasty looking at another 5v4. There's been no ultimate response so far by Dragons, so they'll be looking for a reset here, especially so with Fleta down.
Yeah, Profit with a nice kill. And a Void now quite far forward. It's going to end up getting dropped. It's going to be a reset on his energy. Still going to be 20% away or so from that Graviton Surge. Bot moving up. They should be able to get some distance and take the lead here, should the Seoul Dynasty. Just about how far can they go is the question.
It's the Void kill. I think that made the difference there. Void, unfortunately, not fast enough to get away. It's a Zarya, not a Winston, can't leap.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a late contest coming through from the Dragons now. And like you said, reset energy on the Zarya really does hurt. Although I don't think Void's really had a lot of energy anyway. You're mostly using the bubbles to enable Fleta and Lip. But you'd love to also do some of your own damage, as most of the ultimates are online now for the Dragons. They have to be looking for a fight with here, or at least make it costly for Seoul.
Yeah, if you can have that triple threat, it would be huge. Flutter, though, being one of them, goes ahead, drops the Death Blossom, will find Fitz. Takes him out of the equation pretty early on here as Lip spotting Venheim up here on the high ground. Narrowly misses the opportunity to get that elimination, so Venheim will live the fight another day. But for now, the Dynasty, they're kind of contented there. They say, okay, let's pull back, let's reset. We've got the lead, and let's just go ahead and fight them before they can contest the push again.
You can see how both teams are very concerned about economy here. Neither team wants to overcommit. Lib doesn't even pull out the visor, sees that there's not that many targets, to be fair. Sound barrier coming through from Lee Jae-gon. Does Vindane respond?
Okay, well, he has to. The Bionade connects on the 3 people, and the visor was there from Lip, so he goes ahead, drops the beat, puts the shielding out. Prophet finds Void. The grab has been used, but I don't see it anywhere. I'm not sure who he caught, if he caught anybody at all. Either way, it does not lead to any kills here for the side of the Shanghai Dragons. The bot now being shipped yet again back across the Shanghai side of the map. Seoul Dynasty just maintaining control of this as we dip below a minute remaining.
It looked like Smurf maybe got caught in the grab there, as you'd expect. No solo grab onto the Winston is probably what you're going to get in the most of times. Smurf went down to 1, didn't actually die. And that's the critical thing. We didn't actually get a trade there. Void dies. Smurf does not. One ultimate still on the field here. It is Fitz. We're heading towards the OT, and I mean, it's not a big lead, but Seoul do have the lead. And as we saw in the previous game, you only need a little bit of a lead to actually get the win here, even over the smallest margins. And currently, Shanghai need to charge up something. They're way too far behind in economy.
Flat up, making his exit, taking the Wraith form out there to safety. Fitz playing around the back. Deep long sight lines now as he looks for a target. This tac visor has had it for a considerable amount of time. In the meantime, Izayaki has managed to get the nano boost available now. Flat up finds Smurf. Major pick off, but Prophet could undo that with this pulse bomb if you can actually get a stick to come through. But instead, Dynasty just going to wrap back around over to contest this push where we go into overtime.
Should be one
Shanghai
final
Dragons
fight.
have to keep this moving.
Yeah, there'll be one final fight here. Good move by Seoul Dynasty not to contest early. Beautiful stick by Prophet.
Yep, Lip out of the fight. They couldn't get a bubble on him. He was not playing within line of sight there of Void, so couldn't try to keep the soldier in the mix of things. That's going to delay the attack visor here from the side of the Shanghai Dragons, but now it's going to be the visor out from Fitz, looking for a target. Flooded just going to be dancing around in Wraith form. They shove them away from the bot, at least for now. Now they come in with a recontest. The Blossom nearly there, as you say. Flooded just 5% away from this one. Lee Jae-gon nearly has a beat as well. There are no ultimates to work with for the side of the Seoul Dynasty. They have to just try to win this out naturally. But Venheim is going to be the first one to fall. Now the sound barrier dropped in from Lee Jae-gon. Flooded again, ready to pull the trigger on this ult at any given moment. 2 meters left to go. Smurf playing forward. He's trying to get the Primal Rage. He dives into the back. He's just a couple % away, but he cannot get it. The bot again inching forward. His Prophet is the one contesting, but now he has gotten dropped. The bot is going to move in. And the Dragons will make it happen. They push through. They managed to make it happen here in overtime yet again on New Queen Street. And we are not done yet. We keep going.
That came down as such tight margin. Literal 2v2, by the way. Even towards the end there. Wasn't entirely sure. Was it Dragons that stepped off? Was it Seoul that couldn't contest? Indeed, it was Seoul that could not contest. Dragons, they nailed it. And I don't even think we ended up seeing the Death Blossom just hiding that trump card up the sleeve the entire way through.
Use it at the end to celebrate.
Using it to finish. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's a celebration, Death Blossom at the end, because you didn't need it. Lip, finish things off. And this is what I'm talking about, where Seoul Dynasty, 5 versus 4. Pulse bomb onto Lip in the final fight. The most important member of the Dragons, the highest damage dealing member, easily probably the best player on that team, and maybe across both teams, taken down straight away. It's not any just 5v4, it's the 5v4 with the best player gone. And still the Dragons clutch that one out. So when I say Dragons are winning when they're losing, that's what I'm talking about. They're down members, they should be losing fights, and yet they still clutch. That kill to Smurf was everything that Dragons needed to turn things around.
And again, it just reaffirms why it's so frustrating to see them not be able to contest that card on Route 66, because they can pull rabbits out of their hat. They can make these fights go their way when it seems like the deck is stacked against them. But they had those ults on the way. They crucially build them up during the fight. It buys them enough time, and even with that 2v2 there at the end, deny Smurf from buying enough time, from staying alive long enough to get the Primal. Because I think if Smurf gets that Primal up, obviously the longer the overtime goes, the faster it's going to drop. He can just beat and bat them away from that bot. They don't give him the opportunity to do so. So the Shanghai Dragons, they keep moving forward. It was always fated to go to Game 5 here, as we are in a tournament now, and it's going to be coming up in just a few minutes. Seoul Dynasty, they have their map pick here for the end. Control, it looks like it's going to be Lijiang Tower. So that's coming up in just a few minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere, because this ending is bound to be explosive. And we are back. It seems like these teams were fated to go to Game 5. The road that we took to get here was a little bit different than what the Nav said, but it's okay. We're arriving at our destination. Lijiang Tower to decide it. Oh, yeah, we took the scenic route. We took some back roads. There was no signs. We weren't sure if we were going the right direction, but we got there in the end. Lijiang Tower to decide it all between these two squads, guys. Whichever team you're cheering for, whether it's the Dragons, the Dynasty, or if you don't have a horse in this race, if you just want to cheer for somebody, give them your energy in the chat. Because both teams need it right now. But yes, we as viewers, no matter what, win in this scenario, no matter who you're backing here, because this is some entertaining action between these two squads, vying for a spot to play against Fusion in the next round of the tournament.
My goodness, I mean, wasn't that push map of New Queen Street, I think, is the most quintessential Dragons we refuse to lose map I think I've seen so far this season. We've seen some Dragons refusing to lose moments, but that is by far it. They had no business winning that last fight. Seriously.
That and the Icon Vault 0.05 contest. Those are the two for sure.
Oh, that was okay. Maybe that. And it happens against Seoul. It's always against Seoul. What's going on here?
Yeah, Seoul just refuse to lose, unless it's Route 66, in which they choose to lose. But again, we don't talk about Route 66. I'm breaking my own rules.
I choose that narrative. Maybe, look, I don't know. Whatever. I heavily doubt they were going to win Route 66 from that far behind, but we're way past that now. Seoul deserved that win. They play phenomenally better. A and B was solid from them. They got the cap. Whatever. I was about to say Lijiang Tower, but really it is Lijiang Tower. We're going to Lijiang Tower. That's Dynasty's choice as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Which interests me greatly.
This is a bold one, because we have seen him and the rest of the team just completely take over this map, but again, one of those things where Dynasty probably thinking, like, we know your playstyle on this map, we know what to anticipate from you, and we think that we can outdo it. We'll find out as we do get loaded up into this 5th and final game. Control Lijiang Tower to decide it all. It looks like we're going to be kicking things off on Gardens this time around, as opposed to Garden on Oasis.
See, that's the difference, right? You can call sub-maps the same thing, but the extra plural there just makes all the difference, so...
It does. You know, just like how a lot of people say Command Center instead of Control Center. It's Control Center. Learn it. Learn your map names, fools.
Command Center is that thing that we had on the other streaming platform back in the day, where you get to see the different POVs in the top down.
It's true.
But, you know, maybe one day we'll get the Control Centers. How about the night markets? It's like more than one market. No one's home during those night markets anyway. It's day market now. Let's see what compositions we're going to get. So Fate's back in. Huayu's back in. Genji, Winston, Dive, pretty standard. I think the thing that will interest me the most is when we get to Control Center. If we get to Control Center, if it is the next map or not. Do we stay on the Winston? Are we going to the Ryan? Because I think Fate's kind of shown that. Smith's shown a little bit of that. We're not going to find that out just yet. The other thing that's quite interesting is that other teams would probably offer to maybe go Echo here. These two teams not playing Echo. None of that.
Yeah, Fate, okay, yeah, he's just dead. He leapt in. There was no peel whatsoever. No healing for him. And he ends up dying. Smurf will get traded on the back end, but yeah, Vinham with a nice boop finds a 3rd kill as they chase forward to get Izayaki for a 4th. So very much handedly winning the initial fight yet again here on Control are the Seoul Dynasty. This will be nice for them to go ahead and lock down the point first and foremost. We'll see how the Dragons pilot the re-attack.
There's a great shutdown coming through, right? I mean, you get Fate down, you knock Lip off the map as well. It's exactly what you need. Shanghai Drag is now looking for White Room control, as we'll just kind of flip the sides of the map in terms of who's got what. No one's really got a major lead in terms of ultimate charge yet. I mean, maybe Fitz over Lip, but Lip will surely catch up in a hot minute. No one's close to an ult, as tanks are taking a bunch of damage.
Diving to the back yet again. Fate getting chunked out, makes his exit this time as Who Are You just plays forward, spamming out these right clicks looking for a target. Vinham trying to take him off the side of the map, is unable to do so. He's still under fire, and he narrowly grabs the edge. Got the dash.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, playing on the slimmest of margins. Walking the tightrope there is Who Are You, but he manages to get his balance back. Prompt in the meantime, build up a pulse bomb, and he puts it right into Fate's mouth. It detonates, he goes down. Izayaki now out of the fight. It seems like the Dynasty, despite losing the point there for just a moment, and the Dragons taking the lead, will just regain it.
And also, Dragons split their sort of focus as well, right? You see Who Are You going towards the dojo, the rest of the Dragons still playing around White Room. So as long as you keep Who Are You out of the fight, who had to use cooldowns, double jumps, wall climb just to keep himself alive from running off the map, the rest of Seoul Dynasty can focus on the Dragons still kind of caught, coming on towards the point. Lip once again can't find enough value. Ultimate's coming online first with the Seoul Dynasty. Prophet with a stick as well. Everything going the way of the Seoul Dynasty so far.
There it is, jumping to the back line. Nano now going to be thrown onto Fitz. He's going to pop the tack visors, looking for some targets here. So far hasn't found too much. Lip's going to pop his own visor. Doesn't have the Nano to go with it, but now he's going to be shielded up by that sound barrier from Lee Jae-gon, who pulled the trigger second, crucially.
Yep.
And that second beat often leads to success. You get the eliminations flying in. Smurf not going to last too much longer. And the flip will be there for the Dragons in just a moment. Prophet goes forward, looking to delay as much as he possibly can. Pops the recall, makes his exit, and the flip will come through. 68% now established for the side of the Dynasty.
And you're right, it's the slightly delayed ultimates coming through from the Dragons that actually made the difference. The slightly later sound bear from Lee Jae-gon absolutely making a huge difference. But Fate also had the primal, Smurf didn't. Smurf dies on 100, but his team was already gone by that point.
Oh, okay, who are you going in? Pops the blade, but was instantly anti, and the focus fire is going to be great there from the side of the Dynasty. They only lose out on creative. They pick up 2 kills. Now they go back over the point, look to contest this, look to get the flip, and maintain their lead. Prophet on the hunt, looking for another target that he can put this pulse bomb onto. It's also quite low. Rotates around the back, sees Who Are You, takes him dangerously low. And now with Lip falling, Who Are You again going to be pressured out. They can finally flip this back into the favor. Now 70%. Back in control, back in the lead.
You need to go back. Need to see Genji again. I don't think this is going to be good for Who Are You at all. He's not nearly as known for his Tracer as he is for his Genji. Also playing into Prophet's wheelhouse here in terms of who the better Tracer is historically. So not a good matchup, I think, in terms of individual output there. But that's the bid that currently Dragons are making it as final fight territory anyway. Dragons do not have ultimates compared to where Seoul are. If Seoul don't flub this one, they should be able to get the point.
Ticking up, 5% left to go now as we get ready to go into OT. Not going to be able to get the stick. Doesn't get too much damage on the Izayaki as well. Fate playing forward. Smurf going to be taking a nap in the back line with a Primal Rage pop. Now wakes up, turns his sights back over onto the members of the Dragons. And Fate will fall, as does Lip. The cleanup is coming through, and yeah, they have it in hand. Lee Jae-gon taking down a celebratory sound barrier here from Vintame as it's 100% to 60. The first round of Gardens going the way of the Dynasty. Just need one more.
And what you're also seeing here stat-wise as well is that Fitz is actually performing above Lip now. I think for most of the series, Lip stats has looked above Fitz, even in cases, well, maybe minus the Route 66, we'll forget about that one, but the only other maps, Lip had been either competitive or above Fitz, and now, you know, on this Lee Jung Tower so far, on that Gardens map, Seoul Dynasty, they had the initial cap, they won the initial fight, Fate down early, Lip moved off the map, and it didn't feel like Seoul Dynasty were ever out of control. Even when they let the cap go for brief moments, they never really lost too much control there. There was like one good fight win from Dragons with a later sound barrier coming through from Lee Jae-gon, but aside from that, Dragons were behind on basically everything else. And great dives from Smurf and Prophet overall. It's that Smurf, Winston, Prophet, Tracer that's been so deadly.
Izayaki off the opener here, taking quite a bit of damage. Taking back up the full HP though. These Dragons for now occupying the point. Looks like Prophet going on a bit of a right-hand flank there. Lip going to be looking to do the same on the opposite side. Rotates around. The pack is there for him to play off of, but instead will pull back, throws down the biofield. Keep himself sustained, get himself some additional ult percentage, but Fitz finds a narrow window of opportunity there. Spots Izayaki, gets the elimination. The Helix rockets go flying. Fitz will manage to come up with another kill. Lip now going to be taken out of the fray. Lee Jae-gon's still alive though, and yeah, they're losing members though. Now they don't have their front line, so Lee Jae-gon just going to have to make his exit. Who Are You still trying to play forward? Takes the dash out to the side, sliver of HP remaining on him and Lee Jae-gon, but they will survive for a little bit longer. But yet again, the Dynasty get the cap first and foremost.
Yeah, slim margins there, but it comes down to Fitz getting the opening kill. A couple of trades that come back the way from Dragons with Lip down early again. I mean, Seoul have been so good at shutting down Lip now on this last map.
The ult charge.
It's a huge difference, yeah. Fitz has not only had better stats so far than Lip, but Lip's also just been shut down by multiple players.
Yeah. Well, it's a good pick-off on the Smurf, though. Playing a little too close there to the spawn room of the Shanghai Dragons. Ends up getting isolated and taken down. Window of opportunity, perhaps, for them as Prophet. Not going to be able to get the stick. Just another one. Uncharacteristic here today from him with those ultimates, but otherwise his damage output on the Tracer has been looking good. Then him going to be eliminated. Who Are You find the pick-off as Prophet looks for another target, but he himself is operating with a very low amount
Nano's
of HP.
coming.
Another push-up over the top. Who Are You going for the flank. The Nano's going to go out. Fitz popping the attack visor, but the focus fire is just too damn good from the side of the Shanghai Dragons. They don't even visor in response. It's just the Nano from Izayaki. Lip finds that elimination, and now they find the flip.
And that's the kind of situation where Seoul are trying to be the clutch team themselves. They're saying, okay, we're in a losing spot here. We're 2 players down. Once Prophet dies, that's when you have to decide, Seoul, is this really still worth popping into? Because Smurf is on his way out as well. Fitz goes for the nano buys, but dies instantly. Smurf couldn't primal in that last fight because he didn't have it. Now he does use the primal, but Shanghai don't really care, so this is going to be a primal for nothing.
Izayaki might care, though. He gets juggled around, gets set up. Fitz scoops the kill, but now the blade comes out from Who Are You, and he's looking for a little bit more. Gets one. Looks like the blade just going to be resheathed. The flip did come through in the meantime, through all the chaos. Dragons did lose control, but they're flipping it right back into their favor here in just a moment. Who Are You? Looking for a health pack. Can't find one. Vinham going to drop the beat. That's only on the 2. It's him himself and Smurf, and Smurf has been focus fired to hell and back. It's absolutely destroyed.
Saving Visor.
And the point still being held here, and Lip still holding onto this Visor, just has not felt the need to pop it. Continues to fall low. Fitz gets on top of him, but as the kill comes through, Fitz himself does die. They managed to hold it up to 75%, so overall not too bad here from the side of the Dynasty, but Ult economy looking a bit healthier there on the side of the Dragons.
Well, that's because Dragons are trying to play like a tighter economic game. You see Lib there holding onto Visor the whole time. He'll even die, but won't use the Visors just because they know they have the confidence to win that. Who Are You really thriving in chaotic moments on that point? He was as low as 50 HP, couldn't find the health pack, but still comes in and gets kills. Prophet actually accidentally kills each other. That was on Fate.
Yeah, I think he just dove a little too close to the Lucio there, but he'll be more than happy to get that elimination. Fate popping the Primal in response, obviously there. Now has that out of the fight. Tac Visor going to be popped. Prophet trying to play elusively. Breaks line of sight just in time to avoid the line share of this Visor. Ends up dying to Lee Jae-gon though, so cannot stay in the fight. And now with Smurf falling yet again, it's going to have to be a reset for the side of the Dynasty you would expect. Bionade goes out onto Liv. Creative managing to weave that one through, but it's going to be the Dragons now taking the lead. Creative going to be taken down. Vinham with a sliver of HP trying to survive, trying to play around the back point. Will have to make his exit, and he does so, but we're getting into final fight territory here for the Dragons.
Yes. It's a lot of staggered deaths as well, right? Because you have Seoul Dynasty still trying to hold on, maybe contest. Players not going down there until quite late. Fitz still has a Visor available. Nano's coming online. They desperately need this Nano Visor to work. In fact, Fitz might just have to go for this before the Nano's available. There's no time. Someone has to touch.
Yeah, first they got to get the touch, and they will manage to make it happen. Fitz falling low, and he's going to be eliminated. Lee Jae-gon comes around the corner like a bit of a jump scare, gets the kill. The point being flipped now. Lee Jae-gon makes his way over, but he cannot deny that from coming through, so for now the Dynasty are in control. That buys them a crucial amount of time, but Smurf is going to be dead. He cannot pop the Primal. He dies instantly. Now they dive in on top of Creative. I thought they finished him off there for just a moment, but now they will get the kills. Vinham is taken down. It's Fitz and Prophet, the only ones alive, but can anyone touch the point? Fitz is the closest one. No, Prophet comes in from the back lines, manages to get that tag. Visor's out. Fitz trying to buy some time, trying to find some targets. Falls low, ends up dying to his own Helix rocket. The pulse bomb from beyond the grave. Prophet will find Lip. Smurf returns. Primal Rage rolling. Gets his Izayaki. The blade is here from Who Are You. He's not going to be able to find a damn thing. Now he's looking for Creative. Can they actually make this work? The dash is still available.
They got a beat.
Gets himself back up onto the high ground. And yeah, they have a beat available, but do they even need it? Flip starting to come through. They win out the fight. The Dynasty managed to clutch it.
A huge clutch coming on through. Both Creative and Vinham dead. That was what Shanghai needed to win. They got rid of the Nano. They got rid of the beat, but they stalled long enough. They being Seoul Dynasty, Prophet coming in a touch. That Creative still gets a Nano. He had nothing else to use. He purposely Nanoed Vinham because he was the only target.
Now the beat is in. Lip got taken down upon entry. The Tac Visor not going to be in the fight. They need to try to buy some time here for him to rejoin. Smurf going to be taking a nap. Fate pops the Primal Rage, but he's going low. The beat comes in from Lee Jae-gon. They keep him alive. Lip now back alive, sprinting over towards the point. The Nano going to be used on the Fate to try to keep him in the fight. Smurf finding his Izayaki, but Creative and Fitz have both been taken out of the fight now. 3 members left. Smurf falling lower and lower. Ends up going down. It's all on Vinham and Prophet. And I don't know if they are going to be able to play forward onto the point. They have to surrender the touch. The flip goes in, Prophet plays forward, but then gets back in, dashes onto the point. He's trying to play loose, he's trying to play elusive, but they manage to get the eliminations, and Vinham is going to be taken down by Lee Jae-gon, and despite the wonderful clutch from the Dynasty to be able to take it to 99, to nearly win it out, the Shanghai Dragons, they buckle down, they wait. Lip dies, doesn't matter. They get the Nano onto Fate, they buy time, he comes back in, they close it out, 1 more round to go.
That was insane. Clutch from both ends. It's literally Seoul clutching and then Shanghai clutching on the opposite end. Seoul, Nano, Boostio. Again, a purposely used... That's, I think, the first, real time that you actually Boostio and you win and you do it on purpose. That's not like, whoops, I messed up my Nano. That wasn't meant to go to Lucio. No, he was meant to put the Nano into Vinham. Because Vinham was the only target there, and they won off that. But then Dragons come back, Lee Jae-gon finds the beat, Izayaki finds the Nano, and they get it done. I also, by the way, teased the fact that maybe you could see a Rhino on this map, and Fate's bringing it out.
That he is. Who are you as well? Going to be going over to the May, something that's a bit more in his wheelhouse compared to the Tracer. Let's see if this is going to be enough, though, for the Dragons. Everything to play for right here in this final round as we do go into Control Center on Lijiang Tower. Prophet back over onto the Genji. Fitz sticking with the Soldier 76, and Lip stays with the Symmetra.
Symmetra's probably the one here you don't even need here. I mean, you can TP into the other side, but Reaper will probably help you out a little bit more. Fitz down, low, and the lamp will save the rest of the Dragons.
Getting isolated and melted. Immortality Field taken out. They will find Lip off the back end of that one, but now Prophet just locked up, slowed, taken out by Who Are You, who's going to boost up onto the high ground. Look to contest him, gets him in the head mid-air. And it's a gorgeous look for the side of the Dragons to kick things off. They get the first cap.
And there's the Reaper swap now coming through from Lip. They're definitely much better into the matchup that we have on hand. Question will be, how does Seoul Dynasty want to respond? No changes just yet. They need to land perfect. Fire nades coming through from Creative, but with 2 players down, I mean, this fight's a wash.
Yep, now they have the pin. They're on to Prophet. They're just pushing forward out into the spawn room. Smurf's got nowhere to go. He's going to die. It's extra stagger. Found the wall up to block Creative from getting himself to safety. And Dragons are making this point completely unassailable for the side of the Seoul Dynasty.
They're exactly where they want to be, right? Because Dragons, they win a couple of fights in a row. They're now first ultimate. It's really easy to build these windows up as well on this composition. Window just comes straight out.
And that it does. Buy as much time, keep them zoned out. Prophet having the dash out. Breaks line of sight to stay safe. Blizzard, though, is available now for Who Are You.
They split up. I mean, they actually split off the Fate Ryan currently, so they need to regroup as 5 and find a fight with this Blizzard because they come out to ultimates that much quicker than where Seoul currently are. So we can see this one being dragged out quite significantly for the Dragons in terms of percentage points.
Fitz on the flank, Venom on the wall, but he ends up just getting swatted. Fitz dies as well on the back end of that. It's just more time bought here for the side of the Dragons, and they don't really have to expend too much for it. Who Are You says, screw it, I'm just going to go ahead and use this Blizzard. We're winning so handedly. I'll just pop this, build another one if I need to. It's 75% now here for the Dragons.
But I think they won the fight anyway. The problem with using the Blizzard here is you actually need to use the Blizzard as an alternate way to counter the Nano Blade. Yes, they do have a sound barrier, but you also need the sound barrier to get rid of the Visor and counter the Visor, right? The Blizzard is one of those perfect ultimates that puts Smurf and Prophet in a weird spot. We are heading towards 90% now. The Shatter is the make or break. If we can land the Shatter for Dragons, they will have the map.
Well, first is going to be the Primal, opened up from Smurf. Vindhame is dead. Who Are You gets the elimination. This barrier was just 1% away. Now the barrier comes in from Lijiang, denying the blade from finding much value. Visor popped, the Shatter, it hits Fitz, and oh my god, it's a catastrophe. It's at 99%. Fitz is eliminated, Creative is gone. Smurf manages to find Who Are You, but they need so much more than that, and I don't know if they're going to be able to find it. The beat comes in from Vindhame. It's only onto him and Smurf, and they are both going to die. Vindhame trying to juggle around the center point of the map, but he cannot do it. They bring out the Rhine. We weren't sure if we were going to see it, and they absolutely pilot it to success. Unfortunately, a bit of a lackluster way to close out what was an incredibly close series, an incredibly close Lijiang Tower. But in the end, the Dynasty put their foot down. They say, no more shenanigans. We win here.
Yeah, the Dragons coming on through. And the reason why I talked about the Rhine composition is because I think it is a serious threat on Control Center. Always has been, says the astronaut to the other astronaut with a gun. But at this point, I mean, yeah, the Rhine is seriously, like, you can see the kind of value, especially when it's kind of like, you know, a surprise pick as well. I'm not too sure if Seoul Dynasty expected it. I'm not too sure if Smurf expected it, but they see it. It's hard for them to play around it. They're not too sure exactly what they're doing there. Who Are You also doing huge damage? That was something that was a bit unexpected because, you know, you don't really think about Who Are You as like this insane Mei player, right? He's this Genji guy. He's played a bit of Trace in the past. I would actually say Doomfist is his other like signature hero that he showed in the past, but the Mei comes in through huge damage, great picks. He's the one that actually kills Vindhame at the end as well with the right click, right? So we deny the sound barrier in the final fight, which is probably the last tool that Seoul Dynasty need to make that comeback happen. The solo shatter onto Fitz just denies the Visor, so they end up surviving against everything. And that's even with the extra Blizzard being thrown in, which I thought was a little greedy, but got them towards the 99 anyway. So, yeah, I mean, Dragons very intelligently brought out the Rhyme to throw off the Dynasty. It works, and somewhere out there in North America, Hardy's smiling.
That he is. I mean, good lord. It just seemed like they had no experience playing against us, or no way to kind of counter-strat it, or just even get out of the spawn room. Just at every twist and turn, they were consistently shut down, consistently locked out. I mean, Dynasty looking like they want to maybe open up some scrim blocks, playing some ping, and practice against the London Spitfire perhaps, because they got rolled by the Rhine Comp here in the last round. And that's going to be a bit of a heartbreaker there for the Dynasty fans watching, hoping for that win. They got so damn close, but they just can't quite make it happen there in the end. But it's still an incredible showing from both of these teams in the end. This was the 5-game series that we were hoping for. Maybe not quite as close as we were expecting on Control Center, but still really happy that we got to go through this and that it did not disappoint.
Yeah, that was just what a great showing, and even with the throw in the middle there from Dragons, we can talk about the scene. I mean, even the Midtown, to be honest with you, was a little bit tragic for the Dragons side of things. But player of the game, outside of that one Route 66 incident, is going to be Lip, who severely, I think, outperformed everybody at various junctures. I think he started to, maybe on Lijiang Tower, not quite diff his opponents as much. I did note that Fitz was not only on par, but actually ahead of Lip. But for most of the early maps in the series, Lip was unbelievable. He was more than deadlifting at various points. I think I dropped a stat line somewhere on one of the early maps where Lip was like 8 out of 11 final blows at one point, and he still finished with, I can't remember if he actually did lift it at the finish line or not, but his output was unreal. Had more than 11k damage per 10 at various points during the series when Fitz couldn't quite even achieve 10 himself. He was hovering around 9. So 56,962 damage done with a tiny smattering of the Reaper and the Sim at the end. But otherwise, man, dude was just playing this guy the entire way through. 104 eliminations, just by the way.
Yeah, 104 eliminations. Half of those are his own final blows. And he got 47 Helix Rocket kills. Utterly incredible from the side of Lip. I mean, it seemed like the Dynasty finally kind of started figuring out, like, if we kill Lip, we can probably win the fight. That didn't quite happen for them as much, near the end there on Lijiang Tower, that night market. They get that early pick. That allows them to get that one clutch moment, but then as soon as Lippery arrives, he still has the visor. They're able to clean it up from there. It seems like they finally really got the targeting down onto the members of the Shanghai Dragons, but just wasn't quite enough. Lip's presence was definitely felt the whole way throughout. But here is our bracket as it lays after our first day here at the Kickoff Clash. We've got 2 more matches, of course, coming up tomorrow, and then 2 more on Sunday to see who's going to be the Kickoff Clash champion. But, I mean, Fusion versus Dragons. Fusion looking great. You've got rookie status, Zest there on the Genji looking utterly incredible, as well as when he goes over to the Tracer, going up against an absolute Genji legend of Who Are You? And then, of course, we get the rematch of the Hangzhou Spark versus the Seoul Dynasty. The first series that they played against each other, it was the Spark walking away victorious, allowing them to get that higher seed, setting themselves up to be in that #1 position going into the tournament. Now they find themselves down in the lower bracket.
It's going to be an evening of first, isn't it? Because Fusion versus Dragons was our very first opening match of the season for all of APAC, and Hangzhou and Dynasty, that was their first game against each other as well. There's going to be plenty of runbacks, some salty runbacks happening for those teams. Dragons are now looking unbelievably good compared to where they were when they lost against Fusion. I'm not saying Dragons are perfect by any means. Don't forget, they still had some wacky moments in today's series. I think it actually does speak well to Seoul, though, because we now look at Seoul under a different light. I knew Seoul was always going to be good, but I'm worried for Spark now because Seoul looked damn good by taking Dragons that far.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I mean, what an incredible day it's been. An exhausting one. It's only 2 matches, and feels like we just kind of ran a gauntlet right there with how deep these series went, with how many back and forths there were, especially between the Dynasty and the Shanghai Dragons. Many highs, many lows, but also plenty to get prepared for come tomorrow, because especially for the side of Fusion, or for Hangzhou and the Seoul Dynasty, you can't afford to lose anything else. You need to win out from here if you want to ride that losers bracket all the way into the grand final and become the Kickoff Clash champions. We'll see who's going to be able to make it happen. We'll see who gets eliminated, who gets auto-seeded into that grand final tomorrow when we do return. But guys, we love you. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, NA is going to be coming up in a couple of hours. I say a couple of hours. It's more like 6. But set your alarms, take a little nap, wake up, watch those games, and then when you need some eye bleach and you need to see some real comps, you need to see some real high-level play, we'll be here for you in about 24 hours. So we'll see you guys then. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.